Have you ever felt as though life has pressed the pause button on you, like you're standing still while the world keeps moving, watching others build careers, get married, celebrate milestones, and step into the very prayers you once whispered? While you remain where you are, waiting, wondering when your turn will finally come, maybe you're waiting for an opportunity you've prayed over for years, a relationship you've placed entirely in God's hands, healing that hasn't come, no matter how faithful you've been, a dream that refuses to take form, a door that stays shut, no matter how many times you knock with hope in your heart. You pray, you trust, you remain faithful, even when your faith feels tired. And still, the silence lingers. In the quiet moments, late at night, early in the morning, questions begin to rise. Did God forget me? Am I being overlooked? Did I do something wrong? Why does it feel like I'm stuck while everyone else is advancing? And perhaps the hardest question of all, why would a loving God ask me to wait this long? If this message is touching your heart, share it, not for popularity, but for purpose. Someone you love may be sitting in the same waiting room, silently struggling, wondering if God still sees them. Let this be a reminder that His timing is never careless, never random, never cruel. That heaviness you feel when you watch others succeed, that's real. The ache that settles in your chest when another announcement, engagement, promotion, or testimony passes by, that's real too. The quiet grief of celebrating others while your own prayers remain unanswered, that pain is valid. God sees it. But God saw everything. He saw every time you chose faith over frustration, every time you stayed kind while feeling forgotten, every time you trusted Him even when you didn't feel close to Him, and those moments mattered more than you know, because God often prepares us in private before He reveals us in public. He forms us in silence before He speaks through us loudly. He strengthens us in obscurity before He places us in responsibility. So if your life feels quiet right now, don't panic. Quiet seasons are not empty seasons. They are sacred. This is where endurance is built. This is where humility is formed. This is where your faith matures beyond emotion and becomes unshakable. You are learning how to wait without losing hope, how to trust without seeing, how to love God not just for what He gives, but for who He is. And that kind of faith changes everything. One day, your testimony won't just be about what God gave you, it will be about who you became while waiting, the patience you gained, the wisdom you learned, the strength you didn't know you had, and you'll be able to sit with someone else in their waiting season and say, I've been here. God is faithful. Hold on. So stay faithful, stay soft-hearted, stay obedient, even when it feels unseen, because the God who called you is not slow, He is precise, and when His timing meets your readiness, nothing will be able to stop what He has planned for you. Not delay, not silence, not waiting. This is not the end of your story. This is the chapter where God is writing depth into your life, so that when the breakthrough comes, you will not only receive it, you will be ready for it. You are not forgotten, you are not behind, you are not failing, you are being equipped. God is not only preparing the blessing, He is preparing you to carry it, to sustain it, to steward it well without losing yourself in the process. If God answered every prayer immediately, we might receive what we asked for, but not be ready for what comes with it. So don't rush the process. Don't measure your life against someone else's timeline. Don't mistake slow seasons for dead ones. Seeds grow in silence before they ever break the surface. You are not stuck, you are not late, you are not overlooked, you are being shaped in ways that will one day make sense, and when the moment comes, when the door finally opens, when the prayer is answered, when the waiting ends, you'll look back and realize that every tear, every delay, every quiet moment had a purpose. God was never ignoring you, He was preparing you, and what He is preparing you for will be worth every moment of the wait. And when that day arrives, you won't just receive the blessing, you'll recognize the wisdom behind the waiting. You'll see how God was protecting you from doors that looked right but would have led to heartbreak. You'll understand why certain prayers were delayed, not because they were ignored, but because the timing wasn't yet safe. You'll realize that if God had answered sooner, it might have cost you more than it gave you. The waiting taught you discernment, it taught you patience in a world addicted to speed, it taught you how to walk by faith instead of sight, how to trust God without needing constant reassurance. In the waiting, your roots grew deeper than your visibility, your strength became internal, not dependent on applause or outcomes, your identity stopped being tied to achievements and became anchored in God alone. There were moments when no one clapped for you, no one noticed your obedience. No one saw the prayers you whispered through tears. But take a breath, because this waiting season may be the very place where God is doing his deepest, most important work. C.S. Lewis once wrote that God is far more concerned with our transformation than our comfort. And transformation rarely happens in moments of ease. It happens in the unseen seasons, when nothing seems to be changing, yet everything within us is. Waiting is not wasted time, waiting is not punishment, waiting is not God saying no, waiting is God saying, not yet, because I love you too much to rush what requires preparation. What feels like delay is often divine protection, what feels like stagnation is often sacred shaping, what feels like silence is often God teaching you how to listen differently. God's waiting room is not rejection, it's refinement. In the waiting, God strengthens your character, he deepens your dependence on him, he strips away false confidence and replaces it with unshakable faith, he teaches you how to trust him even when you don't understand him. Joseph waited, betrayed, forgotten, imprisoned, before the palace. David waited, anointed but unseen, before the throne. Moses waited, hidden in the desert, before deliverance. Even Jesus waited, 30 quiet years, before his public calling. If waiting was part of their purpose, why would your story be any different? Waiting does not mean God is absent, silence does not mean God is inactive. Sometimes God says nothing because he is working intensely behind the scenes, aligning people, moving circumstances, closing the wrong doors, and protecting you from outcomes you cannot yet see. The delay is not denial, it's direction. The pause is not abandonment, it's love. The stillness is not emptiness, it's preparation.